So who here is starting to feel that next-gen atmosphere? You know, the atmosphere where there are a ton of news, leaks, rumors, and just overall excitement and discussion about the next gen. Man, I can't wait to play my first next-gen game. What about you? What are you most excited for about the next-gen consoles? Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, click that red subscribe button below and have that notification bell on. In this video, we're going to talk about some interesting information from the survey about the amount of devs who are currently working on the next-gen games for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and why those numbers might not 100% be correct, and how it will affect each console. So the next generation of consoles is getting closer each and every day, with rumors, leaks, and more flying out left and right about the game specs and just an overall conversation about the next generation of consoles. And in all of this gaming news, one thing stuck out to me, and that's that the next gen devs who are making games for the PS5 and Xbox Series X are taking surveys to give us a decent idea of how much next gen games are coming for the PS5 and Xbox Series X during that first year of their console launch. According to the responses, 23% of developers who took the survey believe that their game will launch on the PS5, while 11% are already actively developing for Sony's console. Xbox Series X had similar, albeit slightly lower figures. 17% expect their game to be released on the Xbox Series X, and 9% are already working on such a project. So this would mean during the first year of the Xbox Series X, we could potentially get less next-gen games than the PS5 would get. Now, if you look back on the PS4 and Xbox One, we really didn't get those mind-blowing next-gen games at launch. In fact, the launch games for both Xbox One and PS4 were kind of less than desirable. Now, we know that the Xbox Series X won't be having exclusive games for the platform for the first year, and I think some people are thinking this could be why it's slightly lower than the PS5. If Microsoft is developing less games specifically for the new hardware, there is going to be less next-gen games. Another factor we have to consider is the cross-gen period, the period where both Microsoft and Sony will be transferring over a lot of their last-gen games to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Spider-Man PS4, God of War, Hellblade, and a lot more will probably get some PS5 and Xbox Series X versions that will be better than the original disc versions if the backwards compatibility is to be believed, which most likely it will be. Another reason could be that the PS5 is just easier to develop for. Now, this is a bit iffy because we have been hearing so many leaks and rumors and news and all that kind of stuff about the PS5 being more powerful than the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series X being more powerful than the PS5. I mean, just recently we got this right here with the PS5 being faster than the Xbox Series X. But if it ends up being true, this could be another reason. If the PS5 is easier to develop for, more devs are going to be farther along in development, which is probably why some of the percentages on that paragraph is higher than the Xbox Series X. And that brings me to probably one of the most important points, in that this isn't all the devs. There are more devs that didn't take the survey, so even though this isn't exactly a rumor, I think we should still take it as a rumor and take it with a grain of salt and be careful of how we interpret this information. A lot of times devs are working on games 2 to 5 years at a time. I mean, hell, there's still games in development for the Switch that were announced when the console was announced. Looking at you, Shinigami Tensei. Now, how is this going to affect the Xbox Series X and PS5? Well, it depends on the games coming out. I've said this time and time again. You can make a game look as good as you want and have the highest FPS and resolution, but if the gameplay isn't there to support that, people won't buy it. If Spider-Man PS4 played like the Amazing Spider-Man, do you really think people would have bought that? Or God of War played like The Legend of Korra, the video game? People wouldn't have bought that either. It's going to come down to the games, and I think the number of next-gen games won't matter at all, even if the number is close. Instead, it'll depend on how good these games are. I mean, that's how it's always been, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon just because it looks prettier. I mean, the graphics in Anthem didn't help the game become a huge success, did it? No, it didn't. It's because the gameplay and the core mechanics were crap. I mean, that's why you see all these successful MMOs that are still around, that have been around for years and years. It's not because of the graphics, it's because of the gameplay. Even the Nintendo Switch didn't have their next-gen game, though they did have a fantastic game with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is proof that you don't need a next-gen game to have a successful launch. I mean, it released on the Wii U. The gameplay is what made that game special. The amount of things you can do, the detail, the lore, everything about that made that game special. So I don't think you need a game that looks next-gen to be successful at launch. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Tell me what you think about the PS5 possibly getting more next-gen games than the Xbox Series X. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Robo Gaming and leave a like and comment on the way out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.